Today's video is another trade review where I'm going to be going over this 2-hour trade I took on Euro USD. So starting on DXY, like I would every morning, you can see we shifted market structure here, breaking this low. We made a pullback, broke this low again, a little pullback here, came down, made this pullback, which is the one I would count, and then we broke below this low. So looking with how we displaced below this low, my next target is here. As you can see, if I get the drawings up, is this low. It also overlaps with this daily fair value gap. So if we drop down to the 4-hour here, you can see we created this inversion fair value gap right here. We closed through it aggressively. We then came back up into it, as you can see here, and then moved lower. So we also had this up close candle, which was the top before this leg. I don't use this that much as this didn't break this low, but it's just something extra. So using all of that and how we were consolidating at this zone, also had this 15-minute fair value gap. I was looking for sales with my target being this low here. So if we go over to EU now, you can see we again had a daily inversion fair value gap. We also on the 4-hour, I believe, swept this low, came up into this 4-hour fair value gap, moved higher, and then as you can see, we got a tiny tap just into here. So that added with the inversion fair value gap, and we had this 1-hour liquidity sweep of Asian lows, was more than enough for me to get in. So I dropped down to the 1 minute. We had this first shift here, we had another one right here, and then I got in. As you can see, my entry was a bit higher than I wanted. I'm pretty sure I had the wrong account up, so I had to quickly switch. And then, yeah, as you can see, when we entered, we did have quite a big pullback straight away, which could usually mean that the analysis was wrong. However, I was very confident with the higher time frame. So as you can see, if we set this play out, price went straight up, perfect exit here, and then we did continue to move higher eventually. So as this is quite short, I took 2 trades last week, one on Tuesday the 4th and then one on Monday the 3rd. So I'll show you the other one as well. So this trade took on Monday is quite interesting and is a good example of you can be wrong with your high time frame analysis and still take a winning trade. So starting on DXY, you could see we left this daily fair value gap. We tapped into it on the 4-hour here. We tapped right into it and then was moving higher. This is quite nice for me. We also had this new week opening gap, which I was looking maybe will fill and then price will move lower. As I showed in the trade previously, I am bearish on DXY. So as you can see, we came in, we were shifting higher. It is internal market structure, but it's still nice to see. So looking at Euro here, you can see it's pretty much an inverted version of the DXY chart. We had this daily fair value gap, which we tapped into. We also swept this high, which I believe was just the previous day high, and then price started to move lower, displacing, leaving a fair value gap here. So this was quite nice for me. I did see we had this 1-hour inversion fair value gap here, which you can see was displaced with this big candle, which also left a fair value gap, which I was looking at maybe as a potential area, a point of sabotage where price could go higher, but seeing this and also seeing we had this daily fair value gap and this liquidity grab told me price is likely or has the potential to go lower. My actual target was off this 15-minute inversion fair value gap, and as you can see, especially if I would have used the 1-hour, the power of these inversion fair value gaps, it tapped just into it. I'll just show you my entry first. I got in off this shift here. Price came in, we consolidated a bit, we moved lower, and then the price took off to the upside. So the entry was pretty perfect. The take profit point was literally a few pips off being perfect, with the point of interest sending price a lot higher. So this one's quite important and is probably the first trade I should have shown, because there's definitely more to learn from this one. The other one was just taking a continuation, following the trend. It's a nice trade. Whereas this one does show, if you just follow a strategy that you know works and you have the data to prove to yourself, you can be wrong on the higher time frames like I was here. I thought we was maybe going to go lower a bit, price would have filled that gap on DXY and then moved higher, but obviously, as you can see, we didn't even tap into it, and then price just displaced to the downside. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and there was some value you could take from it and maybe implement into your own trading. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, and I'm going to have plenty more coming out soon.